Oh. Good afternoon, folks.
How's everybody doing?
Tuesday. By the way, everybody, just want to let you know, it's my brother's birthday today.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 6-0, baby.
Yeah.
We made it to the 60s.
Yeah. Actually, for a while, I wasn't sure that was going to happen.
Yeah, same here.
Anyway.
So we didn't make it. We didn't believe we'd make it this far.
So I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to let Kerry watch something. And then I'm going to let it, and at the same token, you'll watch it as well. And then I'm going to get his thoughts on it. So let me see if I can pull this in here really quick. Talk, Kerry. It's okay. I'm just trying to figure out. It's been a while since I've
How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's all right out there. You know, we're May 7th. May, beautiful weather coming. Be careful out there. You got too many protesters walking the streets. And they're not protesting, they're violent. So just be careful. Watch your back. Okay,
so you guys can see that, right? So this is a gentleman by the name of D.A. Pomerantz. Okay, and I just want you to listen to what he has to say. Okay, it's kind of interesting, actually. Remember what I said? He's a DA, and he was involved with Bragg. So I just want you to kind of hear what he has to say, and I'm going to actually give you the whole screen because I want Kerry to get a good view of it. So let's see. I got to see how I can do this here. I think this is what I want. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, let me put this on for you. So his name is Mark Pomerantz, and I don't know if you can see the first question there. It's how long have you known Alvin Bragg? Okay, so here we go.
Fifth Amendment.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you respect Alvin Bragg?
Same answer.
You got it. I'm going to led the effort to go like 8 President Trump. I'm going to roughly design shortly after Alvin Bragg office. Why? Because Pomerantz believes Bragg didn't file charges against Trump. Pomerantz is quote people versus Donald Trump, an insider challenge. Details of the session with finding. You guys read it. Yes, you decline to answer more.
How frequently did you go to the office when you were a special district attorney? Did you have an office physically at that address?
The office is located in several buildings around One Hogan Place. It's not all in one contiguous space of offices. There were several office premises.
This is really the only question.
Clarify that. I'm not going to answer your question about how often I was physically at the offices of the district.
Had your own desk there?
Again, I'm not going to respond to your question.
On the basis of what?
On the basis of the fifth paragraph of my statement. Conveniently, Mr. Castor, the fifth paragraph relates to the Fifth Amendment.
So, since you've left the employ and not VA, do you use email as a method of communication?
I decline to answer your question.
This is your current email provider.
Must be right.
I decline to answer that question.
On the Fifth Amendment, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be the answer. I'm just trying to make the right.
No, I understand that, and I appreciate that.
It's your current cell phone provider.
Likewise, I refuse to answer that question on the basis of my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
Have you since come to a decision to revise that conclusion?
I decline to answer. I acknowledge writing the book, but I'm not going to expand beyond what is contained in the book for the reasons reflected in my opening statement.
Did they really say go get it?
Again, Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to respond beyond what is printed in the book.
But that
Did
is
they not say
something
go
you
get it?
Not going to answer your question.
Show me the man and I'll show you the crime. Think about that. Think about that. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to so what do you think of that, Karen?
Oh,
What do you think of that? You think that's a witch hunt? Just curious.
damn right it is.
Would you say that this kind of means everything to him, getting Trump?
Yeah, everybody's got, to go after him, to put him out of his campaign. I mean, it is a witch hunt.
Now,
Wow.
honestly, and I've said this in the past, I'm not a Trump fanatic. I'm really not.
No, we're not. We're just like somebody who does right by our country.
Listen, 4 years ago, I was able to afford food.
Wow, that's right.
And this was coming out of a pandemic, and it wasn't even that bad.
Right,
It
2020.
wasn't as bad as it is right now. Okay, so we came out of a pandemic where everything was shut down, and it should have been horrible. It should have been 1,000 times worse than it even was, as bad as it was. But it was still doable. Gas was $1.87 to $2.27. $40 worth of food was $40 worth of food. You know what I mean?
Right. Gas
And
is low.
that was a mere 4 years ago.
The electric bill, everything was low.
Everything.
Gas bill.
We were energy dominant. We didn't depend upon. Right now.
Oh, wait, one more. I'm sorry. Rent was low because I pay rent. So right now, everything went up.
Now, right now,
everybody's raising the rent.
right now, if the rest of the world wanted to screw with us,
No pay rent.
specifically like, the Middle East and that sort of thing, they would cut us off from fuel. We depend upon them for fuel. Can you imagine that we now depend upon our enemies for fuel? Think about that. That alone should tell you something. So it's not that I'm a Donald Trump fanatic. I'm really not. If you could show me another business guy who's as strong as he is when it comes to deals,
Okay.
I put him in there. I swear. I honestly and truthfully looked at Kennedy. I like Kennedy. I like him a lot. My problem with Kennedy is he doesn't have enough following to get to where he's going to be with Joe Biden back in. That's number one. Number two, he's a little off the wall on some levels. And number three, I don't think he has the business sense that Donald Trump
No, because he doesn't have the business.
Business is everything. That's what the United States is now. We used to be a
The
family.
whole world is a business.
Well, no, we used prior to the 1990s,
Right,
we were a
that's right.
family.
That's
Okay,
right.
it was you went to work, you joined a union,
Right.
you got a house, you had kids, you had a wife, and
Family and
you're 60,
everything.
you retired, and you died. That was life.
Yeah,
Then-
62, you
Yeah.
retire,
Then in
man.
the 90s, microchips came along, and when these microchips came along, you went from having like 3 or 4 billionaires in the world to having over 1,000. Okay, so it just changed the whole thing. So it just
Now it becomes business.
right. So at this point, other countries grew exponentially because they had all of the
Mm-hmm.
what am I? No, all of the elements to create, what you needed technologically speaking.
All right.
like
Brandon,
chips.
yeah.
Right, exactly. They had all the
Then the
materials.
factories.
Materials. That's what I was kind of talking about. And they
Materials,
had cheaper labor and so
cheaper
on.
labor. and everything.
So
Right.
we
What
would
did
have.
they have making them?
So if we didn't become a business-oriented society as opposed to a family-oriented society, we would have lost to them. Okay, and that's kind of where the family went south. The idea of a family went south.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. I'm getting back to the subject. I'm not a Donald Trump fanatic, but you're making me one because I'm seeing stuff like this, and I'm watching the trial and I'm paying attention to what's happening at the trial.
Right. They let them. They bring this poor guy down to trial every day.
Right now, today, okay, to give you an example, I watched it today. Today, the whole thing was about what they did in the hotel room, how Stormy felt when he was in the hotel room laying on his bed. This has nothing to do with whether something is called a legal expense or not.
Listen.
It's not a legal expense because, no, it's not a legal expense because he paid her. That's not what it is.
Nope.
It's a legal expense because of who paid her, which was his lawyer.
Right.
which if your lawyer is paying somebody,
That's
Michael
legal.
Cohen, that's a legal expense, and that's what it's being called.
Right.
That's what this all comes down to.
I mean, really, you
They're
care,
so far outside the scope.
right? You really care the man? I mean, geez.
They're actually setting themselves up for a mistrial because they're so far outside the scope of the charges that, first off, look up what the charges are. You wouldn't be able to find out because they're not
Right.
listed.
There's no right.
There's no charges at the moment.
No.
Okay, they're literally, as this guy just said, show me the man and I'll give you the crime. Okay, that's what's happening. They're trying to create the crime. As it is, they're trying. First off, if you listen to it, they're saying that he tried to help his 2016 campaign by paying this lady in 2017. Okay, that's blown out of the water because
figure it out, people.
Hope Hicks turned around and said the one instruction he gave was that the newspaper was not to go to his house. Now, if he's trying to keep it from his house, he's not worried about Melania's vote. That's not what
That's not what it's about.
It's not what it's about. Okay, he's not worried about Melania's vote.
He's
worried about
his wife.
Right. He's worried about hurting her. That's what he's worried about. So if that's the case, you can't solely prove that it was beneficial
for the election.
It's like saying he went and got a haircut. Okay, because he went and got wait. He went and got a haircut because Barron's graduation is coming up. But it just so happens that in November there's an election coming up. So he went and got the haircut. Did he get the haircut because he wanted to go to Barron's graduation and look good? Or did he do it for the election? You got to prove it solely for the election in order for that to be an inappropriate expenditure.
They're just trying to keep this man for money. That's all.
You got to be able to prove it's solely for the election.
This is what these people are doing. This is why we're trying to bring this to you, that you wake up in November and we cannot vote for these people.
Because it correlates. In other words, because something else benefits, does not mean that that's the sole reason why you did something. In fact, if something else correlates it means that there's more than one reason possible and blows your whole theory out of the water. So 2017, him paying her had no whatsoever
interference with the election.
Right, exactly.
Of 2016, which was a year before.
So it had no effect.
Not after.
So on top of that, you got someone saying that he didn't want his wife to find out. That bingo. Now, who paid her? Who paid her? Michael Cohen. Who was Michael Cohen? Michael Cohen was Trump's lawyer. So who now
was just convicted of lying, perjury.
Perjury on and who also just and it just came out that one of the witnesses said that he was upset that he wasn't made Attorney General, okay, and that
he wasn't invited to Washington,
and that his bonus wasn't big enough.
Right.
Okay.
So what do you think he did?
So what he did was he turned on Donald Trump. You got Avenatti. I don't know if you know this, but Avenatti, you don't know who he is.
Another guy. He's like a tough. He thinks he's a tough guy.
Well, MSNBC was telling them that they were taking him serious because he was giving Donald Trump such a hard time that they were looking to put him up as president.
Right.
He's doing 300 years right now.
Right.
He tried to extort Nike out of $25 million.
Because he came off tough.
He stole $3 million from a quadriplegic that he represented. He was Stormy Daniels.
Now think about that. Hold on. $3 million from a quadriplegic.
Wait, it gets better.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
it gets better. He was Stormy Daniels' lawyer against Donald Trump. Okay? She lost and owes Donald Trump $800,000. Now, remember that when she's up there testifying, that she has an axe to grind. Right. If she can make him look bad enough, she'll get away with not having to give him the $800,000.
See?
So she has a motive.
Right. So
she's
put that together to go in there. It's a witch hunt.
So all this, put this together and roll it in a ball and bounce it off the wall, and it's going to hit you in the head, hopefully, because you got to get what I'm saying here.
Right.
These people are just absurd.
That's it. Right. I was in the city today going to my brother. I was up by Fox News Station on 48th and 6th Avenue, and they had some people protesting. So I stopped to look to see. There was, pretty much people in their late 60s, early 70s, maybe mid-60s, like that, 50, late 50s.
Oh, excuse me.
5, 6 people holding signs saying Trump's a loser for sleeping with a porn star. Yo.
Listen.
I just give up.
Listen,
this is what they got to do. They got a sign.
I'm going to ask you a question, okay? I'm going to ask you a question.
He's a loser because he slept with a porn star.
I'm going to ask you a question, okay?
What man out there would say you're a loser sleeping with a porn star?
Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? This is the question I'm going to ask you. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago?
Right.
If you are, you're probably an illegal. Okay, that's number one. If you are,
I was about to say
you're
that.
probably an
Or
illegal
very, very
immigrant.
rich.
Okay, or very, very rich, right? Exactly. And it's funny because they turn around and say, "Oh, Trump gives the tax breaks to the very, very." Check out who's ahead right now.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
right now in Biden's world, Bidenomics, which was a joke, by the way. That was a joke that he liked, and he took it on. Anyway, so check it out. Who's
right.
actually?
Well, look at the
made
gallery he
the
had not
advancement.
too long ago, right? When an officer was shot at the funeral,
Somebody
and
made
he was having
$27 million,
$25 million.
and then they made a big deal out of it, and then the next day Trump had one and made 55. Anyway, but that's besides the point. Did I finish my point about not being a Trump? I probably did,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Well, like you said, were you better off 4 years
Well,
ago now?
Okay, so this is what I want to say to you. Okay,
You have to think.
no, I'm going to make it real easy. Okay, so today you find out you have a brain tumor. Today you have a brain tumor. There's only one doctor on the face of the earth that can guarantee you he can take it out and you'll live and you'll be perfect again. It's only one. Okay,
One doctor.
but there's 10 doctors that can give you a 30% chance of survival rate. 10 doctors. Okay, 30%. This one doctor is obnoxious. You hate him,
Right.
but he can guarantee you're going to live.
Right. He's a male chauvinist pig,
Right.
whatever.
Grabs him
Everything
by
that
the
can
pussy. You know what I'm saying? Grabs him by the pussy.
pussy.
Now,
Yeah.
wait,
She's a porn star.
wait. Now, as long as we're on that, really quick. Yeah. Now, as long as we're on that, grabs him by the pussy. Now, listen to this. Okay. Now, I'm gonna say it 3 more times. Grabs him by the pussy. Grabs him by the pussy. Grabs him by the pussy. Is that better than sticking a cigar up the pussy and then smoking it?
Because that's what our Bill
Because that's
Bill
what
Clinton
Bill
did.
Clinton did. Your guy Bill. And then he in turn he went and made
Right.
an intern who he had. I'm going to use the term fiduciary, which really is incorrect. He had a responsibility to this intern to guide her, to guide her,
Right.
not down to his pants, not down to his pants. He was supposed to guide her. Okay.
Right.
So
Okay.
instead, she ended up with a stain on her dress and a cigar that smelled kind of funny. But saying that you're going to grab him by the pussy, like he really means that he's going to grab him by the pussy like a bowling ball,
It is a crime.
is a crime, right? To another guy. He didn't do it. He said it to another guy in a bus where there wasn't supposed to be a mic. But he didn't do it. No chick went running out going, "Oh my God, he grabbed me by my pussy, by my pussy, oh my God." No. But there was a woman walking around saying, "He stuck a cigar in." And she wasn't a woman. She was
a young kid.
She was a young lady,
In
like
her
20.
mid-twenties.
Yeah, like I don't think
Early
she's that old.
20s.
I would have said 20
Right.
because she was an intern. She was still in college.
1920. Right.
So
Okay.
he had a responsibility to treat her with respect and to guide
They
her.
abused her.
I'm sure when her family sent her there to do this, they didn't send her there with the idea to be, Bill's little delicacy. All right. So that's besides. But getting back to the subject now, who are you picking?
Right.
Are you picking the surgeon that's going to keep you alive, or are you picking the nicest surgeon, hoping that you'll live long enough to get to know him better? Take your pick.
Remember the 130%. Or
100%.
the 100%. Who's obnoxious? Male chauvinist pig. Piece of shit, maybe. I don't know.
You have to understand something, which
Right.
most people in the United States, I guess, don't really get. And what they don't get is these leaders that Trump has to deal with are just freaking like him. And if you stick someone like Joe Biden in there, who doesn't have a backbone, they walk all over him.
I mean, look what we got. This is Biden's America.
Let me ask you a
Looking at
question.
it,
Kerry, quick question. How many times did Russia move on any state while Trump was in office?
None.
Ooh.
But he went under
Obama, Bush, and Biden.
And Biden.
Right? But nothing under Trump. How many soldiers were lost under Trump?
None.
None. Isn't that amazing?
And if there was one,
That was
he
when the warning
attacked
came in, right?
Right.
That's when the warning. If it happens, that's it.
that's it. And that's why.
How many other?
Look at the Biden now.
How many times did Hamas attack Israel?
None.
None. How many skirmishes did we have with any other country in the world?
None.
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 How many? Wait. This is a good one. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Trust me, you're gonna love this. How many other presidents stepped foot in North
just about to say
Korea?
that. None.
How many? None.
Look up
And
the
that was
history,
after.
people.
Remember how everybody yelled at him, "Don't call him Rocket Man." Oh my God, you're gonna start World War III. Oh my God.
All right.
Little Rocket Man.
He's gonna get mad.
He's gonna get angry, Little Rocket Man. Yeah. Little Rocket Man was kissing his ass. And
Brought him over to North Korea.
and they'll turn around to you and they'll go, oh no, Trump was his butt puppet or whatever.
Right.
No, Trump ran the freaking. Listen, Trump got a call. This is the truth.
That's right.
From Kim Jong-un, and they were talking on the phone. It started off nice, and it got a little tight. It got a little testy. And Kim Jong-un turned around to him and said, I've got a red button on my desk. And Trump turned around and said, I've got one too. Mine's bigger and it works better. And that was the end of it. There was no more problems. No more problems. Biden would have said, oh no, please don't do that. What do you want? You want oil? You want a couple $1 billion? Please don't.
Right. See the difference?
When
You're right. All you have to do is look up history between Obama, Bush, Clinton, even, and Biden. Everybody was attacked.
Yep, except Trump.
Look on the Trump.
Except Trump. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Female economy was up. Latin economy was up. African American economy. Chinese. Every economy was up. Every economy was up. And he did all of this while they were investigating for everything.
Everything.
They actually.
No one asked him for everything.
They actually impeached him over a phone call.
I was about to say that.
A phone call
that you're allowed to make.
And there was nothing wrong with the phone call. Even Zelensky said that there was nothing wrong with the phone call.
And you're allowed to make. Right.
Not that he was allowed. He was obligated to ask for what he asked for. If he didn't, he was obscuring his responsibility as president.
Right. No, you know what it is, brother? We hit the nail on.
Okay, no, we got to go on now. Hold on a minute. Now, so I'm going to show you how stupid Pelosi thinks you are. This is how stupid Pelosi thinks you are. Watch this clip. Watch this clip. Hold on. Let me bring this in.
Watch this. This is good. She's a piece of shit, this lady. But it's all right. Her time is coming, right? We'll explain more of that in a few
Okay, so watch this clip and listen close. Listen more so than even watch because it's got an important. Okay, I just want to make sure I got right over there. Okay, listen close and listen to the logic. Okay, the logic that this idiot. What she's going to basically tell you, I'm just filling in. What she's going to basically tell you is that Trump had the lowest jobs report, job created report in the history of things.
That's all bullshit.
And this wonderful reporter who's on MSNBC, which means that they hate Trump, is going to turn around and wake her up. And listen to what she accuses this poor young lady of.
Right. This is a.
Oh my God! And then we'll discuss.
Trump-hated station.
So just let's watch this a minute. Here, you ready? Here we go.
Created 9 million jobs in his term in office. Donald Trump has the worst record of job loss of any president. So we just have to make sure people know.
That was a global pandemic.
He had the worst record of any president. We've had other concerns in our country. If you want to be an apologist for Donald Trump, that may be your role, but it ain't mine.
Yeah, take that, you right.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that? First off, that reporter should be given a thing because she should be given an award for actually pointing out the facts.
Right.
Okay, that's
when we had the pandemic, the global pandemic.
That's not an apologist. And do you hear what she said? She said, well, we've had other situations. None like that. None like that since probably the 1800s.
Yeah, the plague.
Yes, the black plague, exactly.
Black plague, that was the last Spanish flu.
Well, even Ebola wasn't that bad.
Right.
They didn't shut shit down.
Right.
They just kind of like,
that's
they were like, just follow that guy home from the airport. That's kind of what it was. It wasn't, Then he went to the movies. Then he went to McDonald's.
Right.
I remember hearing all that. I knew everywhere this guy fucking was. So, but it was just like, it wasn't, you got to realize that the last couple of years, we literally got told you can't leave your apartment. Right. We're shutting down everything. You can't go and get how many restaurants were closed?
Everything was closed.
Do you think Donald Trump caused that? Are you crazy? Are you out of your freaking mind? Man, get some Prevagen or something.
Yeah, really, man. Really.
she's such an asshole, man.
Well, her day is coming.
Oh
too.
yeah, absolutely.
She's gonna be investigated shortly. Watch.
I don't know how they
Inside
fixed up
trading.
that whole thing with her husband and the guy who beat him up. I don't know how they fixed that up, but I know there was something weird going on there.
Come on.
Her husband actually there's a site, okay? What's her husband's first name again? Paulie.
Paulie.
Okay, there's a website called Paulie's Picks. And that's because he's had such a string of amazing luck in the stock market that they have a website that follows who he buys and gives you recommendations to buy it.
That's a joke.
This man put a buy-in for $35 million on one stock.
One.
Now, I don't care how rich you are. I don't care if you're Elon Musk. You know,
You're not going to put
$35 million. You're going to have to know something's going on. You're going to have to actually believe that this is going to, it's not going to be fly by night.
Now, this is allegedly, but it could be some inside information there, inside trading.
Well, she only chairman of that, Speaker of the House. And, there's no way she can know anything. She's only third in charge, third in line to the president.
What does she know?
Yeah. And that's Paulie, her husband. So it's not really her buying it, but
no, people
close.
This is why they don't want Trump in as president, because he's going to open up more swamp. And she's going to be the first one, too.
They can't lose their power. That's the problem.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to. The best thing about the mob was they hid everything. They hid it. These people do it right out in the open. And
I mean, really, think about it. Would you throw 35 million, even if you were a billionaire, like my brother here just said, even if you're a billionaire, would you throw 35 million on one stock?
No, on one, and you diversify.
No, unless you know.
As a matter of fact, when Trump was looking for his, to give you an example, when Trump was looking for his $454 million fine, he was trying to put together the cash for it. It's like people from the View and Joy Reid was turning around and saying, "Oh, I guess he's not as rich as he thinks he is." Blah blah blah.
That's right.
And Mark Cuban, who's a billionaire also, and also Kevin O'Neill. What's the one from Shark Tank? Kevin.
Oh, O'Neill. Yeah, I know you're talking.
Mr. Wonderful. Right. That's his nickname. Anyway, both of them came out and said, "You obviously don't understand." O'Leary, good one. He said, "You obviously don't understand money, because our money is not sitting in a bank. It's not sitting still. It's making more money for us. So we're not liquid on that level, but our worth is still our worth." So in other words, like he's saying, we have houses that are buildings that are being built, and that's where our money's going to. We're invested into other things, which means we're not liquid, but we have the money. These are secured loans or whatever. It could be, the fifth horse at Pimlico. It doesn't matter. But they can't get to that money at the moment. That doesn't mean they don't have it. Anyway,
but these are the common sense people that just hate Trump.
You know what it is? If they can come up with a thought,
and hate our country when you think about it.
Really what it is, Kerry, if they can come up with a thought that somehow makes Trump look bad, they don't think any further. They stop right there. Mm-hmm. It's like, and that's the big problem with the Democrats in general. And to give you an example of what I'm talking about, let's take something like plastic bags. Okay, so Jersey just did a study, and since they stopped using plastic bags, right? Since they make you bring your own out of the thing, there's 3 times more plastic being used, and 3 times more plastic being wasted, because the bags you're using now are like 10 times the thickness of the bags they were giving out. Okay. And that's all, that wouldn't be a bad thing, because you say, well, I'm reusing it maybe 10 times or whatever. But they don't degrade the same way. It takes them longer. So in reality, these things are around longer. And they also, as far as their recyclability is like a tenth of what the other bag just melted down. This has to be melted, chemically treated with this, and separated on that, and the handle can't go in, and the other ones just rolled up in the ball and it went right in. So, the problem, and even like to give you a great example, let's take Texas. So about 4 years ago, Texas got hit with a cold spell, and it almost destroyed the whole state. Do you know why? Because they're off the grid.
Yes,
now,
right.
The stupidity.
They're not used to the cold weather.
Right. And the stupidity is when they went off the grid, they used a lot of solar and they used a lot of battery stuff. Batteries don't work well in cold. Normally Texas is fine, but this was a really bad cold spell. The problem that we have is it's they get an idea.
What happened?
Just I can't even go into all of that.
It was just,
It's just stupidity. There's no reason.
yeah.
Listen, it's like taking a spare tire out of your car. Okay, here's an example.
Oh.
So you get in your car and
Right.
you're going out on Sunday, right? You're going for a drive upstate, 400 miles away. You take the spare tire out. Why would you do that? That's dumb. It's dumb. So it's the same thing. Why would you disconnect from the grid? Instead, just have a switch that you move it from one to the other. So if the solar's working great,
Right.
leave it on solar. But have a switch where you can go right over and go to the other side. I mean, why give up something that works? Why not have a secondary power source? Most of you people out there have a generator at your house. Why do you have a generator at your house? In case something goes on with the power.
Right.
Well, why shouldn't a whole state have that? So before they went off the grid, they were on the grid and it was working great.
Said they want to agree.
So it's not like you can't say, well, they don't know how it's going to work. It worked.
It worked.
So then they went off the grid. But why destroy the grid?
Right.
Why not keep the grid when you need the
They
grid?
went off the
The
grid.
grid
It
is a
worked.
good thing. Right? The grid is a good thing.
They went off the grid and didn't work.
And the other thing here, the other thing about this is you want to go,
tragedy too.
well, listen, you want to go electric vehicle. Okay, so if you want to go electric vehicle, right now we're already putting such a strain on our electrical system, our electrical grid, that by going off the grid, it's going to take long. Try to charge something using the solar and see how long it takes to charge that compared to plugging into a wall. Okay?
Good luck.
Good luck, exactly. So when you got to charge that car, in other words, if you're going to need it in June, you better start charging in April. You follow what I mean? Okay?
Go on.
And no, it's true. It's absolutely true.
It's true.
And you know,
well, if you saw in the news over the winter, right? All of the charging stations froze. Nobody can
well,
go.
they were supposed to make like 12 of them, and they never put them up. They never built them.
And they never built them.
They never built them. They're not.
And then put them outside in the cold. Yeah, that's
We already have.
No.
Listen, everybody's looking. Listen, there's only two choices. Okay, one is to make the actual gas engine more efficient, which Toyota is doing that to some degree. They're actually changing it over. There's new types. There's a hydrogen engine, and there's I forget what the other one is. There's another one out there. I can't think of what it's called. And they're phenomenal on as terms of mileage. The hydrogen one emits water. So in other words, after it's used, it turns hydrogen, like peroxide, for example. That's kind of what it runs on. Is H2O2, which is 2 hydrogen and 2 oxygen as opposed to H2O. You know, so 2 to 1, it's 2 to 2. So when it flames out, the oxygen, I guess, comes out, and you're left with a liquid vapor, and that's what comes out the tailpipe. Anyway, we already have, unless we can get those two, the engine better. Right now, the thing we have that works and is the answer to kind of everything is the hybrid. Let it be electric. Look, you got to go short, just the electric. You got to go long, you got gas right there.
Right there.
It's so easy.
Both, right.
Yeah, again, it's an option.
I was about to say, everybody has an option. You should have an option in this one.
It's the smartest thing to do. You know, it's the same thing with the ones that use alternate fuels.
You go short, you can use the electric. You want to go far, you got your gas.
It's perfect. It's a perfect answer. Let's take that.
Why would you not want that?
Well, no, let's take that and make that better. So let's take that and make that last longer. Let's give it more mileage to the gallon.
Right.
Let's give it more mileage to the volt.
Mm-hmm.
Let's instead of worrying about getting fully electric, which in reality you could use this car if you were a total climate lunatic, you could use it totally on electric. Just keep it on electric settings. You never have to use the gas. That's your choice. But somebody else has the choice to use the gas if they want it or they need it.
That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
That's the problem. Is we're
There's
trying to
nothing wrong with
take
having
choice.
options.
Right now, everybody that's out in society is like, you're going to do things my way or you're not doing them at all. No. You do things your way and I'll do things mine.
Right. That's just good about this.
You want to drive electric, drive electric.
Right.
I don't want to drive electric solely. I don't trust it.
Right.
Wintertime. Try an electric. The best is I saw a comic.
Yeah, try that, right, in the winter.
I saw a comic strip the other day, and they were talking about, it was talking about like electric vehicles, and this guy pulled into a mechanic. Mechanic put the car up on lift, brings it down, turns to the guy, and the guy goes, what's the problem? So the mechanic goes, you need a new battery. So he goes, oh, it's about $50, 200 something maybe tops. Guy goes $15,000. And it's not a joke. That's really how much the battery is.
$15,000.
If you look up in France, I
Whoa.
believe it is. I could be wrong, okay, because I'm not good with geography. But in France, if you look it up, there's something called the electric car graveyard. And there's hundreds of them. There's literally 5, 6, 7, 1,000 of them there. And they get rid of them because it's cheaper to get rid of it than it is to replace the battery. It's cheaper to get rid of it and buy a new one. Overall, with maintenance and everything, than it is to buy a new battery for $15,000. Now, wait, let's get into this. Where do the batteries come from? China. Who gets the batteries? So who has to go down and get the lithium? Kids. Because they're the ones that can fit in the holes. Get down there and get them out.
Right, so think about it.
So it's child labor, it's forced labor, it's slave labor, it's sickening labor, the way they get all sorts of black lung, this, that, and the other.
Oh, they get everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
It destroys them, literally. Look it up. You see.
This is what they do.
But we'd rather have that so that the air. And that's another thing is, look up the amount of carbon that's in reality in our air.
Mm-hmm.
It's like less than 3%. It's like less than 3% of our air, or maybe it's less than 5%. But that's what it is. It's less than 5%. But if you go lower than 3%, the foliage suffers because what do trees need? Trees need carbon. They suck it in and give us oxygen.
Right.
So without that, they'll die.
Right.
That's why when you drive down the highway, you see all of those trees and stuff on the side, how beautiful the foliage looks. That's because it's getting a bunch of carbon from the cars. That's what keeps the trees alive.
And that's what keeps you alive.
And to tell you the truth,
Plus the ocean, 75% of the oxygen.
to tell you the truth, that's the right way to do it, is to balance it by putting more foliage up. Like put up plants that heave a lot of oxygen or that absorb a lot of carbon. Use the plants as the filter.
Just suck up the
Use the plants as the filter.
Right.
There's a lot of ways to balance it. But if you get to a point of below 3%, they'll suffer and they'll die, and plantation dies at that point. Foliage dies. So anyway,
Now we need what you're going with now. Like you said, option.
Yeah.
So take the option. We should not be forced on one thing when you have options.
Yeah.
And then my brother just makes sense here, right?
If you have a hybrid and you don't want to use the gas, don't. If you want to, do it.
Do it.
If I want to, don't worry about what I do. Worry about what you do.
Right. And it makes sense. If you go short distance.
Now,
you can use the electric.
Now hold it. Now listen.
Long
So
as it
I
goes.
believe it's us and England are the only two, maybe France. Us and France. I believe it's France. I could be wrong. Are the only two countries that have a carbon footprint that's gone down, that's gone below our normal level of, like, let's say a normal level of 0.
Okay.
China,
Okay.
Iran, or up 200%. 200%.
Why is that?
So why? Now my question is this:
Sure.
why are we taking this little percentage down here that we're going below, and destroying our country by doing so, when they're blowing their country up financially and supposedly destroying the environment at the same time? But you don't have a problem with that. You know why you're gonna have a problem here? Because you can have a problem here. Go over to China, and protest over there just for a day, just one day, and then call me later at night
if you can.
I won't be expecting to hear from you.
I was just saying,
So
if you can.
call me later that night and let me know how it went.
Well, if you know your history, remember 1989, Tiananmen Square.
Well, you know what it's like doing?
Trying to protest.
It's like beating.
They ran them over.
Right, exactly, with a tank.
Thanks.
But you know what it's like, Kerry? It's like beating the child that graduates for studying. So that's really what you're doing.
Right.
You're the place that you're allowed to study, which would be here.
You're beating the crowd, yeah.
You're beating us. You're beating us, so that it just makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
You're being so stupid.
Right.
There's nobody here that can change anything. Listen, I said it before. If you took, I would love to take a Jewish person and one of the Hamas supporters and have them stand facing each other. And I would ask the Hamas supporter, what do you need to hear from him to make him not your enemy? That would be my question. What do you need to hear from this gentleman?
Right. And what can that gentleman do?
And what he would say is something like, he's against the Jewish genocide. So now my question is, him saying that, how does that change anything? He has no power anywhere.
Right.
You're being angry at a gentleman who can't do a damn thing.
Can't do a damn thing, right. Right. Because now it's called anti-bullying now. He's not even anti-bullying now.
Anyway.
To stop Jewish people, kids, and going into the classes and whatever, that's anti-bullying now. Because he's right. What am I going to do? I can't go over there and stop the war, right? My brother can't stop. Nobody can. Nobody can but them. You're going to go after the Jewish
thing is,
okay.
The funniest thing is, I think
that's a good one.
I think it's Tehran is offering scholarships to the Palestinian protest, the ones who are Palestinian rights.
Right.
Now, if you take a look at them, okay, and you see them with the pink hair and the nose rings and stuff like that, how long do you think they would last in Tehran?
First of all, you know what they would do with the nose rings? They hang them.
Yeah.
By the nose ring.
Off a roof.
Off a roof. Wait a minute. You're hanging from a roof now by your nose ring. Like this. Until it breaks.
Yeah, and they'll be hitting you with sticks, like a piñata.
Right. Yeah. That's what they do. And you don't believe it? Look it up.
No, it's worse than that. I mean,
it's worse than that.
They'll put you in a cage and set the cage on fire.
Right.
Or drop it down into
the water.
A hole. Yeah,
right.
with water.
With water.
Yeah, drown you that way.
So
I mean, it's really bad. Beheading is the easy way to go.
Right.
It's over like that.
Right.
But
But what they do is they make you what? Like they'll put you on top of the roof, and they tie your hands behind your back, and they just push you.
Yeah.
And you
just have people stone you. I mean,
right, there you go.
They'll bury you up to your neck and just have people throw rocks at you.
Oh,
they die.
Because of what?
Because you're gay. Or because you protested.
Protested, right.
You had the nerve to critique their government.
See? Yeah, go do that there. These people don't know the freedom they have here. They need a valuable lesson. And really, all of them should be arrested. All of them should be put over. And the sad part is, I hate to say this, I do my cross, but we get hit again by another terrorist attack. We'd love to see those people get hit, but they won't.
Oh, my God.
But they won't. Only innocent people will get hit. And we are going to get hit again because we have terrorists here, people. We just say
unless we get Trump back in office.
Right.
We get Trump out, you get nothing.
Right.
Anyway, all right, I think I'm done.
Everybody have a good day. I'm good. Everybody have a good day. It's a pleasure.
Say good night, Kerry.
Good night, Kerry. And we'll talk to you soon. Be safe, people. All right.